So we might have a problem. Now, if you were thinking of buying that base model M4 Mac Mini at $599 with that 256 gigabytes of storage, you might be a bit too late. Apple seems to have completely removed it from their website, and the reason why isn't what most people think. There's actually several different reasons, and one of them, Apple even confirmed themselves. And there was no email, no announcement, no nothing. It was just completely removed from the website. Over the past couple of weeks, it has been showing as currently unavailable and out of stock, but everyone had hopes that it would come back in stock just because of how popular it is. That doesn't seem to be the case. The new base entry model is now the $799 with the 512 gigabytes of storage. Now, that is the same processor, same 16 gig of unified memory, a little bit more storage, but $200 more expensive. Now, $200 might not be a lot for some people, but for others, it could be the difference between buying the machine and not being able to buy the machine. Let's talk about some of the reasons why this could have been happening. Reason number one, probably the most obvious, and I think Tim Cook even admitted this, was if you've been anywhere online over the past couple of months, you've seen the vast increase in AI agents, especially running AI agents locally on your machine. A lot of people run them on Windows, but more importantly, a lot of people have been buying M4 Mac Minis to run these local AI agents like Claudebot. Now, I think it took Apple by surprise just because of how powerful the M4 Mac Mini is and what it's actually capable of with these AI agents. And that's probably why it became such an overnight success. And that $599 price tag played a big role in it. So when you combine all that together, I think that the demand for the M4 Mac Minis just honestly outweighed the supply just because of how fast everything has grown. And honestly, if you look online on YouTube, anywhere, you'll probably see a ton of videos of these local AI agents. And 9 out of 10 times, people are using an M4 Mac Mini to actually run it. If you've been online anywhere in the last couple of months, you have seen the vast increase in prices for unified memory or RAM and storage. It is almost impossible now to find some sort of affordable storage for, say, terabyte, 512 gigabyte or 2 terabytes, etc. of storage, whereas a year ago, it was quite easy to find. So when you think about 256 gigabytes for the M4 Mac Mini base model, it seems to be, well, it could be, that because of the storage prices going up so high, it is costing Apple a lot more money to make these 256 gigabyte model M4 Mac Minis, which is eating into the profit. So instead of giving people the option and having to buy 256 gigabyte storage chips and 512 gig, they've just completely cut out the 256 and started with that 512 gig. I know it cost people a lot more money, but at the end of the day, Apple is business and their main priority is to make profit. So if something like high storage costs is eating into their profit and lowering how much money they can make, that is probably why we're not seeing the 256 gigabyte base model of the M4 Mac Mini. And something else you got to think about is this is kind of a game with supply and demand. So why would Apple try and break their backs and not make as much money trying to supply people with the 256 gigabytes of model just so they can buy it and run AI models on, when them same people that are buying these machines to run AI models on are probably going to spend that extra $200 anyway to get the 512 gigabyte version. So they kind of just cut out the low cost option, given people the higher cost option because they know they're going to buy it anyway. And then with that, Apple are going to make a lot more profit. The M4 Mac Mini has obviously been a very popular device, and my one sitting over there has been for like a year now, running this entire channel and everything I needed to do. And it works great. And when you see my setup, you're probably thinking, how on earth does he keep it so clean? Especially with all that dust that can fall on the white surfaces, and more so that suede surface, and how does it deal with dust and crumbs? Well, let me show you exactly how I deal with it and just how easy it is. So this is exactly what I've been using. It's a 2-in-1 duster and vacuum system by K&F Concept. And honestly, it comes in so handy and it doesn't cost a fortune. Now you get 3 stages of power, each one obviously being more powerful than the last. You get a bunch of brushes and attachments in the box for different kinds of purposes. A magnetic front section, which attaches to the blower side, gives you a more directed airflow, perfect for blowing away dust that's on your desk, keyboard, laptop, monitors, and so on. Now, if you press the button on the back, it also turns a light on so you can see better when you're actually using it. You've got a vacuum attachment that goes on the other side, and it comes with a slim extension and a brush head, which is perfect to vacuum up them places which are hard to get to, like in between your keys on your keyboard, or even in your car in between your seats. Trust me, I've tried it and it works. It's got a Type-C fast charging with 180 minutes of runtime. So all in all, very good product. Now, but honestly, it is such a great item, especially when it comes to cleaning the desk setup. I don't have to brush anymore with one of them dust brushes, which just goes everywhere. I can just blow the dust away. And if I want to vacuum, I can use the other side. If you want to grab it while it's still on a really good price, check the link in the description box below. Before Apple released new products, they have been known to stop selling the old ones, just like we saw when the M4 Mac Mini was released, or just before they stopped selling the M2 Mac Mini. And now, with WWDC coming in a couple of months, it is rumored that they're going to announce at least the M5 Mac Mini, which should give us a lot more performance than the M4 Mac Mini. But we've got a couple of questions. With the M5 Mac Mini, are they going to give us 256 gigabytes of storage, or are they just going to jump from the get-go, giving us a base model of 512 gigabytes because they think that that is what the demand is going to want? And also a big one is, what is the price point going to be on the M5 Mac Minis? Because the M4 Mac Minis was a super popular device because of that price tag. That $599 entry price for the machine and that power you're getting was a big reason why a lot of people out there were actually getting it. And if they start raising the price to say $1,000 or even more, it may not be as popular. Now, another reason could be Apple are just trying to simplify the lineup. Now, having that 256 gig model and the 512 gig model caused a lot of confusion. Some people were wondering, I want the $599 price tag, but the 256 gigabyte of storage, is it going to be enough? And other people wanted to get the 512 gig of storage, but the price tag was a little bit too high. Now, I was always an advocate, you've seen in my videos, of getting the base storage, the 256 gig, buying your own NVMe SSD and an NVMe enclosure. I've made plenty of videos about it on the channel, and have it that way. You have that $599 price tag, and then you have the external storage that you can use on multiple different devices instead of just being on your M4 Mac Mini. However, in 2026 now, unless you have NVMe SSDs, which you can use, and you can just buy an NVMe enclosure to upgrade the storage, it's going to be quite expensive to buy NVMe storage. So it might actually be the better option just to get the 512 gig version if you need a machine anyway. I mean, it's not like you have a choice anyway. Apple have kind of made a decision for you of this is the model that's available. If you don't want it, you're kind of out of luck. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, what do I do? Here's the honest answer. The $799 price tag for the 512 gigabyte M4 Mac Mini, in my opinion, is still quite good value for money. You're getting a great machine, 512 gigabytes of storage. Yes, it is a little bit more expensive than the base model, but having that extra storage is going to be very beneficial now just because of that increased price in the NVMe SSDs to get it externally. Later on down the line, when these prices, if they do ever drop, then you can also invest in an external SSD drive that you can connect to your M4 Mac Mini and have even more storage. Now, if you're waiting for some sort of discount or deal, I honestly don't think Apple are going to give any sort of discount on the M4 Mac Mini. They've already got rid of the base model. And now that remainder, that 512 gigabyte model that's left, I think it's going to remain that price for the foreseeable future. The only way you may see a discount is if these third-party stores like Best Buy or Amazon have their own sort of discount. But what I think they're going to do is when the M5 Mac Mini comes out, they're just going to price it a little bit higher, and that will make the M4 Mac Mini look more appealing when it comes to price for the people that don't want to get the top tier model. If you do want to get an M4 Mac Mini at a lower price, like I said, you've got a couple options. You can look at all these third-party sites, whether it be Best Buy, Amazon, wherever it may be, they may still have stock and it may still be available. Second thing you could do is look on the Apple refurbished website. They may have some stock on there and you may get it at a great deal. And third, of course, you can always look at these third-party selling sites like, Facebook Marketplace and stuff like that, where you can get used ones that people are trying to get rid of at a great deal. But if you've already got an M4 Mac Mini, for you, nothing really changes and everything stays the same. I honestly think the M4 Mac Mini is one of the best value for money machines when it comes to what Apple have. It's just that now it's going to cost a little bit more money, well, $200 more to actually get started with it. But if you've got an M4 Mac Mini, let me know down below. If you are thinking of getting one, let me know what you're going to do. And if you do manage to actually find one for the right price. If I find any links for M4 Mac Minis or the base models, I'll leave them in the description box below just to help some people out being able to find a great deal. If you like my wallpaper packs, you may have seen them on my own machine in my past couple of videos. You can, as a subscriber and as a thanks to you for watching the video, I'll leave a link in the description box with a free discount code where you can get all my wallpaper packs completely for free. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends and family who might be interested in this kind of stuff. And as always, I appreciate you watching. I will catch you on the next one.